Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be talking about my top 10 most complimented niche fragrances. So these 10 on this list I've had for quite a while. I think I did a video on this fairly recently, I think in the summertime. I did my top 7 most complimented niche fragrances. Now the reason why I did 7 was because back then, whenever I was kind of first getting into the niche realm, I had a lot of Amouage fragrances and I actually didn't have 10 different niche fragrances I wanted to show. And me being an idiot as well, I also included Louis Vuitton Imagination in that list. And as we know, Louis Vuitton are a designer house. For some reason, it just skipped my mind and I just decided to put it into the niche fragrances. I think the reason why was because I used to place it where all my other niche fragrances were, because it is quite expensive. I like to take care of the more expensive ones. And it just must have slipped my mind. So these 10, I've made sure they are all niche fragrances. I have got a few more now, and I've had a lot more wearings since that last video. So the list has changed around a little bit, which is quite interesting. So yeah, we're going to talk about these 10 most complimented niche fragrances. Just before we do, remember guys, if you are new to the channel, please do not forget to drop a like on this video. It really helps out on the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you are a fan of fragrances, please feel free to subscribe as well, because we're growing a really, really nice fragrance community. Really positive comments lately, and yeah, would be super happy to have you guys a part of that as well. So feel free to subscribe too. So yeah, top 10 most complimented. These ones, they kind of vary. So you'll see a mix of like wintertime fragrances and summertime fragrances. From the list, it looks like it's kind of split evenly. So there's 1 or 2 winter fragrances that have given me loads and loads of reactions and positive feedback. And there's also a lot of, obviously, summer ones too. Now, typically, from my experience, the summer ones and the fresher fragrances tend to get a little bit more compliments. Now, it looks as if the 10 on this list have all got really good performance, and that could be part of the reason why they tend to get a little bit more compliments, is because people can actually smell them. So with the niche fragrances, sometimes they are quite dark, sometimes they're very different, but you also get better performance, better quality, of course, and they're a little bit unique too. So yeah, we're going to kick things off in the number 10 spot. This one I didn't actually think would make this list, to be honest. It's just a nice, calming fragrance. I talk about it on the channel a fair few times, and it really surprised me that this actually seemed to get amazing compliments and great reactions too. And it's good because I really enjoy wearing this fragrance as well. It just, as you can see, it gives me a smile on my face every time I think about it, every time I smell it. The one that we're talking about at the number 10 spot, we're not doing any honorable mentions today, or it would just be filled with like Creed and Amouage. And I wanted to include 1 or 2 of each, so they are on this list, just to let you know. But yeah, number 10 spot is this one here, Casamorati Fiero, or Xerjoff Fiero. So this one, like I said, every time I smell it, I absolutely love it. Something about this is quite nostalgic. I don't know if anyone can relate to that with this fragrance, but it's a very citrusy green fragrance. So I think it's got the main note of lemongrass in it. I'm just going to check. It does, and no surprise, because this is a very citrusy, minty fragrance. It's very green, very citrusy, but like in a more green grass kind of way. It just smells a little bit like fresh grass. For me, this fragrance smells very relaxing. I have no idea why. There's probably like some notes in there, like neroli I think is in here, which gives it this kind of relaxingness to it. Vetiver, so there's no kind of like dryness, but there is like a grass kind of note in here. So there's another one on this list that is also got grass. It's related to grass, but this is just very calming, very relaxing, and the performance on this is great, surprisingly. And I think just because like the really fresh lemon, the citruses that are in here, the mint, I get really good reactions with this. It's a quite casual scent. I wear this to the office quite a lot, so it's really good for that. Not your typical most complimented fragrance, but it's very safe. So coming in at the number 10 spot is Casamorati Fiero. Coming in at the number 9 spot, this one is, well, it used to be a hype beast that everyone was raving about this fragrance. It's my first and only one from the brand, from the house, and it's made me want to discover it a bit more. But for me, like from what I've been told, the house can be a little bit hit or miss. It's very expensive for what you pay for. I don't even think they're in 100ml bottles. No, they're in 90ml bottles. Cool bottles nonetheless, but the one that we're talking about, Number 9 spot for my most complimented is Initio's Side Effect. Very strange fragrance. I smell it and it smells quite bright and uplifting, but it is very sweet as well. Note listing of this thing is quite simple. You've got rum, tobacco, cinnamon, saffron, sandalwood, and hedio. This smells quite light. I don't know why, but like it's a very light, sweet fragrance. It reminds me, honestly, a little bit like the bottle design, just purple. That is, every time I smell it and every time I spray it on, it just reminds me of like purple. And I quite like this fragrance for the fact that it's more a winter fragrance, but it has got this bright freshness to it, which means that you can get away with potentially wearing this in like a summer afternoon. I'll usually wear this for like a going out occasion. It has got a kind of specialness to it. It does smell very nice. It is, I'd probably say it is a little bit synthetic if I could critique it a little bit, but it performs great. It gets me amazing reactions. Whenever I go out, no one's really smelled something like this before. And when they do smell it, yeah, they're gonna most of the time give you a compliment that I've sometimes got. So yeah, coming in at the number 9 spot is Side Effect by Initio. Okay, coming in at the number 8 spot. This one I wore a lot in the summertime, which I think is the reason why it got me so many compliments. Also the situations that I was wearing it in. I took this as one of my fragrances to Tenerife. There is actually another one on this list that will come up. But yeah, I went to Tenerife back in the summertime and we were out there, me and my friends, for like 7 days, I think it was. And I think I got a compliment with this thing like every single day I wore it, which is crazy. And also coming back as well, back into the UK, where it's unfortunately quite bad weather compared to Tenerife, I was still getting good compliments with it. It's a very, again, similar to Fiero, it's a very green smelling fragrance. The one that we're talking about at the number 8 spot, it's the only one from Amouage on this list. And it's this one here, Beach Hut Man. And the best part about Beach Hut is every time I smell it, it just reminds me of Tenerife, which is great. So I love how fragrances can just kind of give you memories and just remind you of things. And this thing, yeah, just reminds me of just getting loads of compliments. I got the compliment from my friend that I smell great, but whatever I'm wearing is nuclear. And yeah, perfect description for this fragrance because it is an absolute beast. I think that's part of the reason why it gets compliments, because it projects mad. It has crazy projection and it just smells nice and clean. It smells a little bit like an ivy branch and mint together. You just kind of mix the two together. I've done a little bit more depth on like how I talk about this fragrance, so I'll leave that for the Amouage ranked video that I did. But coming in at the number 8 spot is Amouage Beach Hut Man. Really cool bottle design as well. Perfect for summer. Okay, coming in at the number 7 spot. This one, I've cheated a little bit. So I only recently picked up a bottle of this. And the one I was using before was a clone of this fragrance. I've been meaning to get the actual version of this fragrance for a very, very long time. But the reason why I hadn't was because the clone itself was actually very good. It's probably one of the best clones that I know of, which I'll show you quickly now. It's this one here, which might give it away. Detour Noir. So I actually decant this fragrance, by the way, as well as the other one. But Detour Noir is supposed to be a clone of the number 7 spot, which is Parfums de Marly Layton. I'm not going to do a video on this yet, but it's scary just how close this fragrance is to Layton. And Layton just obviously makes it smell a little bit better in terms of the quality and stuff like that. But it also seems to project a bit nicer for me as well and last a bit longer. So yeah, this is a very unique fragrance. I know quite a lot of the Parfums de Marly lineup have got kind of a reputation for copying other fragrances, but not this one. I think this one is completely unique. This is like Aventus for Creed, Layton for Parfums de Marly. So really nice one. It smells to me a little bit like an apple pie, like vanilla, apple, cinnamon. Just something I've never really smelled before. But this thing you could wear all year round. Super versatile. I love wearing this one. So coming in at the number 7 spot is Parfums de Marly Layton. Oh yeah, and I also just want to say, I also do decant Layton now as well. So link in the description if you wanted to give that one a try. Okay guys, coming in at the number 6 spot. This one is probably the strongest fragrance on this list for sure. Even more than Beach Hut. Like, I didn't think Beach Hut could be beaten for in terms of like projection and longevity. But no, this thing blows it out of the water. The one that we are talking about, it's the only one that I've got from the house, the only one I've actually ever tried from the house. and it's this one here, Arabians Tonka by Montale. And funny story, whenever I actually received the bottle of this fragrance, I think this might be a tester bottle, but it didn't come with the little lid, the little cap thing, and like half the fragrance was missing. And I didn't realise this. Oh, it was also very, very light as well, so I thought I literally had like that much left. Turns out the thing with Montale is they'll put them in aluminium like cans instead of glass bottles, which is what gives them so much weight. And I thought there was like nothing left of this fragrance, but it turns out they actually leave a little bit of a gap to let it macerate, which is quite cool. This fragrance though, I don't think it needs macerating because it is so strong. Like I've sprayed this on clothes and like a week later it stayed on there. Like it's crazy. There's jackets that I've got that still smell like this. Also one of the most sweet fragrances I own. It's quite a gourmand sort of smell. So the note listing of this fragrance is a little bit strange. It's very, very sweet, but it's quite dark as well. You've got this kind of oud in here that turns some people off, but the sweetness of this is just so crazy. You've got the rose in there, which kind of balances it out, but the tonka bean, and there's like sugar notes in here that just make this thing super sweet. So if you are a fan of gourmand, you might like this, but because of how strong it is, this thing works perfectly as a compliment getter in the winter time. So coming in at the number 6 spot is Arabians Tonka by Montale. Okay, we're at the halfway point now, and this again, you'll see quite a trend here that some of these fragrances I've only got one from the house, and it tends to be the one that is the most popular, just so I can see what the house is all about, really. The one that we are talking about at the number 5 spot, I definitely need to pick up more from the house. I have tried a few samples. This is the only bottle I've got from the house. But this one, oh my god, in terms of like compliment factor, the percentage on this is absolutely crazy. I think every time I've worn it, I've probably got a compliment. But because it's such a special fragrance, I tend to not wear it too much. The one that we're talking about is this one here. My camera will focus. Yeah, it's this one here. Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. And this fragrance, man, smells incredible. If you can't like get a compliment from this just based off like you wearing it, give someone the bottle to smell it and they'll give you a compliment on just like the bottle itself, because the smell of this thing, I don't think anyone can dislike it. It smells so amazing. If I were to make a fragrance myself, I think I would put about at least 90% of the notes in here. So this has got the main note of peach in here. It's also got rum, tonka beans, vanilla, tobacco, amber, sandalwood, vetiver, all the things that I would want to put into a fragrance in here, and it just blends perfectly to make this sweet peachy rum smell that is just so loud, projecting, and just special, like I said. So the reason why this is a little bit lower down the list is just because I don't really get to wear it too much, but every time I do, it does seem to get me a compliment. I think there's an X-straight version of this too, which will probably do even better manner than this one. This is I think this is the Eau de Parfum, yeah, it is. But an amazing one from, by the looks of things, an amazing fragrance house. Coming in at the number 5 spot is Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. Coming in at the number 4 spot, this one has actually dropped a few, mainly just because the other 3 that I've worn have just seemed to go crazy with the compliments, and I don't know why. I haven't really been wearing this one too much, like to an office setting and stuff like this. I usually wear this when I go out, and I've been going out a little bit less lately. This over the winter period. The one that we're talking about at the number 4 spot, this was very high up before. It's Naxos. So Naxos, as we know, if you've watched a few of my other videos, wow, what a fragrance. It is one of my favorite fragrances. It's probably definitely in the top 5, 100%. It's also, for other people, they absolutely love this fragrance in the winter time. From my experience, this works great in terms of compliments. The only problem with it is it can be quite hit or miss. There's a tobacco note in this. I haven't actually talked about the notes of this one. You didn't know it's got the main note of honey. It's also got like kind of like pipe tobacco smell in it. So on one side, people love the honey smell of this thing and how sweet it smells. But on the other side of things, some people absolutely hate it because of the tobacco note in here. My girlfriend, sometimes she really likes it, sometimes she doesn't like it. It's quite strange. But in terms of compliments, this thing goes absolutely crazy. The performance on it is great. Like I said, it's going to be something that you've never smelled before. It's super unique. It's very cozy. It's very inviting, and it's just a perfect winter fragrance. You can also get away with it, like if you live in the UK, you could probably get away with wearing this in the summertime when it's not like too hot. It has got a nice lemon and lavender note in here too. It's just a perfect fragrance, in my opinion. 10 out of 10. And obviously other people seem to agree too, because I get great reactions with this thing. So coming in at the number 4 spot is Xerjoff Naxos. Okay, coming in at the number 3, another 10 out of 10 fragrance. I've talked about this one before, right next to Naxos on a separate video called 10 out of 10 fragrance recommendations or something. And yeah, man, this thing is just timeless. It's a classic. It is like, if I wore this more, I would probably have this in my signature scent, and it would get me compliments a lot more. If I didn't rotate my fragrances, this could easily be my most complimented fragrances, obviously. The one that we're talking about is from the House of Creed. It's this one here, Green Irish Tweed. So this was the other one. Oh, it smells great. This was the other one I was talking about when it smells like a green fragrance, when I was talking about Fiero. This one just smells like a grassy, freshly cut grass, timeless smell. If you've ever smelled like cool water, there is a great clone of this. I think it's called Très Nuit, or L'Aventure Night is another great one. The DNA has been replicated so much, but when you're wearing the real thing, it gets even more compliments, right? Like if you've got like something that's replicatable, when you wear the real thing of it, of course you're going to get more compliments. When you're wearing the real thing, you get more compliments, which is why I actually decided to pick up a bottle and not just have the clones, because this thing smells so good. There is sometimes criticism with House of Creed that they haven't got the best performance, but this one seems to be the exception, as well as Viking and Royal Oud, that seems to perform great. And when I wear this out, I get amazing reactions with it. You can wear this to the office too. It's a perfect office fragrance, or just a daily wear fragrance. Most versatile one on this list, potentially. It's also, the most safe too. So coming in at the number 3 spot is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. This one surprised me, just like how high up it is on the list. Since I've had it, and I've worn it a lot more, it's not exciting me too much. Like whenever I wear it, it's like, okay, it smells quite fuzzy, it smells a little bit strange. But in terms of like compliments and stuff like that, this thing again goes absolutely crazy. This was another fragrance I wore out in Tenerife that just seemed to get me great reactions. The one that we're talking about is this one here, Sospiro Vibrato. This has got a really nice grapefruit note in it, and it's quite powdery too. So it didn't hit me how powdery this thing was until I wore it more and more. And it's a perfect summer fragrance, but you can also wear this to everyday sort of situations. Very powerful too. The powderiness in this just lifts it. The citrusy grapefruit note that you get is perfect too. It reminds me a little bit of the grapefruit note in Dolce & Gabbana The One, in that respect. But yeah, this thing is so safe. I don't think you can really dislike this fragrance unless like you're like really into like the complexity and stuff of this fragrance. It's very fuzzy, it's very powdery, but you've just got this like zingy grapefruit in it. Really nice one, and it just does great for reaction. So coming in at the number 2 spot, just missing out, it battled out hard with the number 1 spot, is Sospiro Vibrato. And also, funny enough, this is quite hard to get in the UK. Well, it was whenever I bought it, and I decanted this, and I think I've got like, I want to say like that much left. There's not a lot in here. There's not a lot left in here. I think my light just turned out over there. But coming in at the number 2 spot is Sospiro Vibrato. And guys, just before we get on with the number 1 spot, if you've watched up to this point, please do not forget to drop a like in this video. If we can get 100 likes, I will do a giveaway of a 5ml decant of any one of these fragrances that you wanna try. So yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know that you've liked the video, and I'll reach out to you if we hit 100 likes in this video. Okay, and coming in at the number 1 spot, this one surprised me. With like how many compliments it's got in the short amount of time that actually worn this fragrance. In my opinion, this is the better version of the three. There's three versions of this fragrance available now. This one, in my opinion, is the current best one. You'll understand what I'm talking about in just a second, but there's three versions of it. This one is the freshest version of it, and they've just like done the original DNA plus another DNA that just make this thing so good for compliments. The one that we're talking about is this one here, Creed's Aventus Cologne. So like I said, there's three different versions. You've got the original, you've got this, and you've also got the Aventus Absolute. And that one's great. I don't have a bottle of it though, and it's a very quite a darker fragrance. This one though takes the Aventus DNA, freshens it up a little bit, puts like a Chanel, a Le Homme Sport DNA in there too, and it just works amazing. So funny enough, designer wise now, Chanel's Le Homme Sport gets great reactions from me. Pairing it up with the Aventus DNA, which also gets me great reactions, you're bound to get a compliment getting fragrance. This thing as well is great for performance and longevity. I get at least all day on this thing. And wow, yeah, I love the freshness in this, the tangerine, the apple note that they use to give it the cologne sort of smell is great. And then you've just got the dry down of the original Aventus. It's just amazing. I'd probably say I get a lot of compliments with this because whenever I wear it, I love it so much. I just want to wear it again and again. And I just know if I ever want to get a compliment, I will just spray this on. Not even have to think about it. I know that potentially I'm going to get a good reaction with it. My girlfriend also seems to really like this one too, whereas she seems to really hate the original Aventus DNA. So coming in at the number one spot, my most complimented fragrance of 2025 so far is this one here, Creed's Aventus Cologne. Right, so that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what your most complimented niche fragrance is. I know it's not all about compliments, but it just so happens that these ones seem to do good and get me some kind of reaction, which is always nice. Most of them though, like, let's just take this one for example, Triumph of Bacchus, Naxos. I would be more than happy to just wear these, not get any compliments. It wouldn't affect me. But if you are looking for compliments, these 10, you can't go too far wrong, really. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Remember, as always, please don't forget to like this video. Please do not forget to subscribe as well. If you did want to try any of these fragrances, I will leave a link down in the description to purchase 2ml, 5ml, or 10ml samples. Also, if we can get 100 likes, then I will do a decant to someone. Just make sure you comment down below, letting me know that you did like this video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.